Hello my friends, in this video we are going to check out VHorns by Acoustic Sampling, which is a really cool physical modeling meets sample library product. It is a 3-part horn section with flugelhorns, trombones and trumpets, and it has a really nostalgic and warm overall vibe. So let's have a listen and then dive in and check out the interface and how it sounds like. Let's start by listening to this short example track I created to demonstrate the sound of VHorns in action, playing now. Okay, and as you heard, I went for this soft and kind of jazzy vibe, which I think is what this plugin or sample library VHorns is very well suited for, that jazzy, more old school horn sound. So just show what I use. So this is just the drum kit in Logic. And then I used this Soft Dynamics piano. And a jazz bass, just upright bass. Get some string bass. That's from Ample Sound. And then I have this folder with the horns patches. And just as a disclaimer, I actually added Supercharger as a plugin on the group with some light saturation compression and a fat filter or character knob. Let's listen to it. It just adds a hint of that analog extra warmth. It sounds like this without it. And with it, very, very subtle, but I like to do that on the groups. So let's dive in and check out this instrument and the interface. So let's start with what it is actually. So this is a UVI workstation sample library. So it's not a contact library. And it features 3 different instruments. So if I go out here into the main menu, you can see VHorns flugelhorn, a trombone, and a trumpet. So that's the section you get, and you get 2 of each. So flugelhorn 1, 2, so you can actually create a bigger ensemble if you want to. And if you check the interface here, it's very straightforward, but it actually hides some really cool features. So first of all, you have the dynamics on CC1, at least that's what I mapped it to. You can map them yourself just by right-clicking and dragging a fader like this. And then you can set the vibrato here on auto time, or manual. So I have this mapped on CC11, so I can go from soft and then I can also add, make a curve of the vibrato like this. And you don't need any key switches. You can actually play just playing fast like this on your keyboard, and you will probably hear the keys hammering here on my keyboard, just below the microphone. But and if you play very low velocity and hold the notes until the next note, you play legato, you get this portamento. So if you play really soft on the next key, that is the longer portamento. If you play faster but still connected legato, you get legato transition but not as long. Now, let me just showcase, if I activate this, that they are very similar. Actually, just use the front interface like this. Yeah, so you have the flugelhorns, it's the same, the vibrato, the CC, and then this is the actual added reverb, which you can also map if you like. I don't use that personally, but you can if you want to map that. Otherwise, they are very similar. You can see it's actually pretty neat looking interface in my opinion. And they all are played in the same fashion. So you just play with your keys, and if you have some MIDI faders, I really recommend that you use them, as I move the CC1, the mod wheel, and the other fader I mapped to the vibrato. And you can do this, the same thing. So you can actually copy the MIDI data between them, at least if you are within the range, of course, of the actual instrument, and it will still work if you have them mapped the same. Then this is the front interface. Then you have 3 different tabs. But first, you actually have a mute section. This is really cool. So no mute, and then you have harmon, plunger, straight, cup, and bucket. And I think you will see it. Yeah, you can see what the mute looks like. So this is the flugelhorn without any mute. But if you add a mute, that is a completely different sound. I don't think I have tried to map this, actually. Let's just map it. I have a fader on CC3. Oh, that's really cool. I just found out about this now. Sorry about that. So you have actually tilting this mute. By mapping this, I don't know if it's available. It's only available on the plunger. Okay, so you get the mute, but then you get a mix tab, and look, you open up the hidden gems, where you can actually sculpt the sound of each of these instruments. So you get these microphones here, and let's see. I actually don't dive into this as often, because I will show you another trick which can give you the sound you want much faster. But you get a three-band EQ here, a mix in the microphones here, closed mics, virtual mics, reverb sense, all of these settings here. But what's even cooler, in my opinion, I don't mess around too much here, but at least you can see the different microphones here. Here, the virtual space, this is my favorite part about it, because you can see the microphones here, and you can see the horn here. Now, you can actually change the microphone from all these settings, so AB goes further to the side, get a better or wider stereo image, XY. You can see how they are actually mounted here. You can change the stereo width, up or down. And let's go back to AB. You can click here on any of these sections, these podiums here, where you want the horn to be. So this is the main default position, center and front. But you can push it back here. It's a bit softer and further away, and also to the right. Put it perhaps here, close but left. So this way you can actually design your own virtual space for your entire horn section. That's really cool. And finally, you have this preference map, which is really advanced, where you can actually go in and set the auto vibrato, how that works, the pitch here, and some randomization features. You can see these here. So it randomizes some of the characteristics of pitch variation and how the instrument responds, just like a real instrument. yeah, so here we can also add some growl and flutter, natural variation of air, valve noises. So it's so much more in here than a standard sample library, and this is because it is a mix of samples and physical modeling, which is, I really love that. The main aspect why I love it is because you can play it without using a lot of key switches and program music. You can play it on your MIDI keys and your faders or your breath controller. So let's just check out the sounds, and I will go through all three here and then show you a really cool feature up here. So we are in the Flugelhorn 1. It doesn't really matter if you use the Flugelhorn 1 or 2. They will sound slightly different, but it's basically the same sound. It's when you use a builder an ensemble. But if you click up here, you can see you have presets. So Flugelhorn have all these different presets. You get a different mute here, different setting on reverb, virtual space, everything is basically saved differently on these presets, so you will hear the difference. And of course, you can save your own if you create any changes you like. So some are more studio up front, some are more orchestral. Some have this really old, nostalgic vibe. Really cool. Let's check out the next one. You can, in fact, use the presets for another instrument as well if you want to. It will work. So if I choose the trombone here, it will still... Now it's the trombone preset for all the settings applied on this Flugelhorn. But let's go back here. What I really love about these instruments, this plugin VHorns, is it really has that old school nostalgic hornless sound. It really has a warm, mellow tone, even if you play in the high ranges. Let's go to the next one. We can actually go to try some of the studio session presets. They are more upfront. Next one. Really, really beautiful. Okay, so let's go. That's the Flugelhorn, which is actually not that common in orchestral brass libraries. Some of them do have them, but it's much more uncommon there. But it's a really mellow, warm kind of horn instrument, brass instrument. Let's go to the next one, the trombones. And we are at the majestic patch. Let's try the capital first. So the trombone goes actually really low, all the way down here to this low E. And trombones, when played, you get a really hard buzzing sound. Especially with vibrato there. It has, if I am a bit critical, the trombone in this plugin has a bit of a too harsh, raspy, higher end in some of these presets, but of course you can almost scalp them. This is better. Lo-fi. Let's try some of the studio ones for this as well. Studio session 1. Let's try the third with a mute here. Oh, it's the plunger mute, which we can map. I think. Hello, map it, please. Why can't I map it? Now. So cool, nostalgic vibe, really, those old school horns. Let's go to the trumpet now. Probably the most used here horn instrument or brass. So this has a mute already on it. Let's try the studio directly here. Let's see how it copes with faster patterns. Okay, studio, let's try the third one. Let's try one of the named ones. Awakening, we already tried that. Belmont. Oh, there's a huge cinematic reverb. Beautiful. And of course, you can always go into the virtual space and push it back, like this. Because sometimes the horns, or any instruments really, but really when you have these harsh frequencies, it can be a good thing to push it back in the mix to tame those. Okay, so one little thing that I have to get used to is the front page is not a tab. So when I go like here, I want to go back. There's no tab. You have to click this to go back to the main page, not outside. I've made that error a few times already in this video, I think. Okay, let's try the next one. Where are we? Chill horn. I think these, by the way, these horns could be really great, not only for nostalgic music or jazz, but also for lo-fi music and relaxing music. Because they really have, especially with the mutes and pushing it back in the mix with the virtual space. Harlem, let's try Infinity. Let's try a fanfare. Okay, so of course, I also want to show you finally, you can actually add effects here if you have UVI workstation. So you can add effects on the entire sound. You can use the internal arpeggiator. I don't usually do that. I want to add effects in the DAW. And yeah, so, let's just check the CPU meter here. So if I play something, I have an old 2013 iMac with the quad-core i7. Okay, it's around 10% or so, which is okay, I guess, because this is an old computer. I'm going to upgrade soon, but, well, that's VHorns, which is a great horn section with a warmer flugelhorn, a mid-range or low to mid trombone, and that high-range horn, which is the trumpet. So I will leave a link in the description so you can check it out if there's something you might want to use. I am a fan of UVI sample libraries over Contact, personally, because I like their interface better, basically. I think it's easier to find my libraries here. It's look cleaner for me. And the interface of this is, of course, really good as well. So I will see you in the next video, my friends.